Minnesota United take on Columbus Crew Tuesday, July 28th at 7 p.m. in the MLS is Back tournament knockout stage.
Big games, Steve, big goals!
Tonight's show is brought to you by Allianz. Allina Health, official orthopedic partner of Minnesota United. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Minnesota, better together, you and blue. And M Health Fairview. Please protect yourself and others by wearing a mask when in public spaces. We all have to do our part. Wear yours, Minnesota. Hello there and a very warm welcome back to our match recap show. Callum Williams here alongside Kyndra D. St. Aubin as always. Now last week we arguably had the right arm of Adrian Heath on the show in the shape of Sean McCauley. This week we're treated to the left arm in Ian Fuller, assistant manager of Minnesota United. Ian, joining us from the bubble, how are you?
I'm hanging in there. We're week 3 or going into week 4 of the bubble, so it's been a long month or so, but I think we're certainly settled and guys are itching to probably see their families and get back to Minnesota. But our job isn't done here yet. We've got knockout stages with Columbus coming up here in a few days, and the preparation is all on that, and I think guys are buzzing.
How long did it take you and the players to really get settled in and comfortable inside that bubble?
I would say after 3-4 days, you felt comfortable to know where the meal room is and the testing area is and the pitches and where we're going and the entire schedule of the day. And we've run the whole gamut. We were one of the first teams here, and teams have already left the bubble, and so we feel like we're part of the surviving group and looking forward to being the sole survivor of the bubble.
I don't think people can totally comprehend and really understand and maybe even really appreciate what you guys are experiencing down there. So has it been a challenge to keep people emotionally and mentally up and engaged, just considering the circumstances that you are going on week 4? Yeah,
we feel like we're part coach, part psychologist with the players and even to ourselves, because it is quite a challenge, I would say, mentally to stay sharp and to stay focused and to really not want to be living your normal life. And clearly during the pandemic no one really knows what normal is, but this certainly has been a challenge on all of us mentally. And when you've got 45 people in your group here, it's a challenge to keep everyone mentally sharp and everyone tuned in and really motivated to give their best on and off the pitch.
What about from a physical point of view as well, Fuller? Because I know it's been unbelievably humid down where you are.
Yeah, the physical portion has been a challenge as well, mainly because in a group stage game like that you play every 3 to 4 days, so most of the time it's recovery for the main guys that have played on the weekend or in the midweek game, and then the others to get them the right amount of fitness, but knowing that they may be playing in 2 to 3 days. So that's been a challenge, and clearly the hydration level with the players is very important, because you can lose upwards of 10 pounds, double digits in a game, and even in a training session you're looking at 5-6 pounds of water weight. So to get that back in the guys has been really important. And our nutritionist Angela has done a great job with that. So it certainly has its challenges down here, but I think we're all have settled and faced them head on and are doing pretty well.
Well, Minnesota United had to be physical over the weekend, as they went up against Colorado Rapids on Wednesday evening. And Kyndra D. St. Aubin, as we take a look at the highlights, it was the Rapids who got themselves in front through Kai Kamara.
Yeah, and this goal actually felt like it came a little bit of against the run of play for me, just knowing the situation. It was only 8 or 9 minutes into the match, but I just felt like Ozzie Alonso had a good opportunity here to change directions and switch the fields. And I wanted to ask you, Ian, in particular, when you see this ball go the other way, how are you feeling about the team's defensive shape at that moment? Romain Métanire had pushed way up high on the right side. Ozzie Alonso was looking to receive the ball to switch. Boxy was a little bit high tracking Kai Kamara, and only Jose Aja was really back. and then you had Chase Gasper out of screen but high up on the left-hand side, because clearly you guys are going in on the attack there. You're trying to switch and get on the front foot. First of all, well, did you think it was a foul at midfield, which I did? That's just my opinion. But what did you think of the shape defensively going the other direction and when that turnover took place?
Yeah, we changed shape a bit from the previous two matches, when the Molina was out. So we changed shape a little bit, and I wouldn't say we're 100% comfortable yet in the shape. It's something we've been working on for weeks, knowing that, we have got the players to play different formations and different styles. So Ozzy in that position, one, we all feel comfortable with him on the ball under pressure, and he wants the ball, and we want to give him all. He's kind of our general, and I think that we missed that the first match of the tournament for sure. So knowing that we can give the ball under pressure to Oz will never change. He's very sure of himself. Was it a foul? I would say I would have felt hard done by giving a foul if I'm Colorado, and we kind of felt hard done that it wasn't given for us. So, being Aussie and as a veteran in this league, you would have hoped the referee would have given us a break there, but he didn't. But our shape wasn't completely right in and around Oz. If you look, Jose's kind of dropped off in an awkward position to where if he were maybe dropped off to Ozzy's right, Ozzy could have turned and laid it off to him or just swung it around the corner. Voxel's a little bit square and kind of, we just didn't have our normal shape in which we would have liked to. And then when you look at some of the defending in transition, they were 3 versus 2, and we do this, quite often in preseason. We'll play the 3 versus 2 in a goal, and what's most important is the goal and defending the goal and showing them wide. And I think we got that a little bit wrong there. Boxy kind of steps too early, possibly, and over, and we were caught in an odd situation to where we're no longer holding a good line, and Kai's in an acre of space, and Tyler's left hung out to dry, and he's gotten us out of so many positions in the past, and Kai finishes nicely in the near post. But it was more of a team goal that we just felt we let ourselves down with our team shape to begin with, and we were on top of the game at that moment, so we were very comfortable in possession. It's just that we didn't have great shape in behind Aussie then.
Well, and I think as a center back, it's probably always a challenge. When you're talking about Boxy, maybe stepped in and pinched in a little bit too much there. He can see Ozzy tracking back, but he's trying to figure out, is Ozzy going to be able to maybe get back and put pressure on their ball, or do I need to do that? And then he has to make that. It's such a split-second decision. I mean, when those decisions are coming in real time and you're trying to gauge the pace and the danger of the players at hand, I mean, mentally, what did Boxy have anything to say when you guys were reviewing film? Was that sort of his dilemma trying to figure out?
No, and I mean, knowing Boxley, he takes responsibility when he doesn't need to. So he probably knows he probably stepped too early or whatever. But there were a host of problems even before Boxy probably stepped a little too early. I mean, clearly we would have liked to delay and stay inside and force guys outside until we had help, coming in the form of Ozzy. But, even his angle of approach, it wasn't that bad. They had to play it through him to get to Kai. So he made the player choose a pass he probably wouldn't have liked to through Boxy, but it just was one of those that we wish we had to take back in possession. We had to take back giving him a little bit more help, Ozzy on the ball, and then we'd have to take back in our recovery defense.
Well, and to be fair, it seemed like Colorado did, everything kind of right on that play too, despite the defense, with the run on the left-hand side, forcing Jose how to track that runner. Boxy has to step, and the perfect ball to Kai, and then he slots it in the near post. I don't think it could have probably gone much better for Colorado in that transition. And then looking at Minnesota's first goal, I mean, this just seems like textbook set-piece play, and you have to tell me if I'm wrong on this one, but a beautiful ball into that near post by Jan, and Ethan just standing on the edge looking to get a deflection. Is that pretty much how you guys drew it up, if Jan was going to go to that near post?
Yeah, I mean, Jan's got quite a few options there. He chose the near post one with pace, which we were actually, from the bench, we were all saying near post, because we thought that they were a little bit dropped off on the near post there. And Ethan did a great job to flick it into the near post. But everyone did their job perfectly there in terms of where they should be, who they're drawing out of spaces. You can even see the balance on top of the box was really, really good because Colorado are a very difficult team to play against because of their set pieces. They're very, very well organized. They're very aggressive. Even in that defensive situation, they look to counter off that. So we wanted to make sure that our set pieces were really, really sharp on the day. And this was a good example of everything coming off right. And Jan, he just put such a lovely ball into the box generally, but in this day it was hit with pace. It asked the front man, I think Rosenberg's in the hole there. It asked him to make a lot of decisions. Do I attack it? Do I drop off? What do I have to do? And Ethan just snuck right in front and put a lovely flick onto it into the near post.
How vital as well, though, you said he had options there, are the big men in the box for you guys to have that threat, to draw that attention away from that near post where you have Michael Boxall, Jose Aja, and others that can get ahead on it in the middle of the 18 or even on that back post.
Yeah, I mean, Boxy and Aja attack the ball so well. And you've got some other guys in there. Hassani's a really, really good, powerful, player that can get off the ground and head the ball well. Robin Lode's a good finisher. And we haven't even talked about Luis Amarilla, who scored 2 goals in the first 2 games with his head. So we had some dangerous options in the box. And you wouldn't say Ethan's one of our most dangerous guys, but he just sensed it and he was in the right spot at the right time, and that's his job, to get them to the near post. And he went for goal at this point, but other times he's really just trying to flick it on for the bigger guys to go and attack it.
And then the second goal for Minnesota United, this was just a real thing of beauty down the right-hand side when you see the movement and the way the attacking pieces and the system works for Minnesota United. And Romain Métanire, once again, doing the work and willing to do the run. And the ball in from behind by Jan. I mean, when you see this play happening in real time, it's probably difficult. But when you see the replay of it and you guys watch tape, is this something that you're just like, this is the way we draw it up? Romain makes the overlapping run. Ethan Finley tucks in the middle. Ozzy drops in behind to make up defensively in case the ball goes the other way. And then the second look we'll take it. I want to get your thought on that first, and then I want to ask you about the runs in the box by Ethan and Robin.
Yeah, you're right. You guys have been to training many times, and you know how often that we want guys in the right spot to draw others out to possibly spring Romain and chase on the other side as well. So we've got some really good options wide. And Romain does a great job of drawing the fullback wide and then springing central for Jan to slip him. But we're seeing just the end result of this, but the previous minute and a half of this portion of the game was just fantastic for us. We were on top of them. The previous possession before this, it was exactly what we were looking for. Playing in and out of space, 1 and 2 touch, playing with people, figuring out where our numbers are. And Luis had a chance to nearly score right before this. They go down and we defend the counter really, really well. And then we quickly countered them with the move you're seeing now. But Romain certainly is a weapon that we love to use. And Jan's just got great vision and the pace of the pass, because you have to beat the defender without it crossing the end line. And on the Bermuda down here, it's very difficult to judge that. And then Ethan does a great job of getting in the box, checking his run. And it wasn't the easiest ball to finish, by the way. It's in behind him, but he does just enough to get his boot on it. And Romain does a great job about drawing Yarborough out of between the posts, and then Ethan just tucks it into the goal. It wasn't the cleanest of finishes, but we didn't care. It was a beautiful move, and to jump us in front after being a goal down, with which we were really unhappy with and felt we were on top of the game. It just shows great character from the guys, and we felt we were in a really good position going at halftime after this.
Well, in Ethan's run specifically, if you really kind of focus on him, once he's in the box, you've got Robin, Luis, and Ethan making the runs, and he makes that kind of trademark move where he throws his shoulder and then he steps back and comes back to the ball to make himself available for Romain. It was slightly behind him. He did tremendous with it, but there was also still Robin in a position to possibly finish it as well if Ethan hadn't hadn't been able to get his toe on it. Talk about the run and the movement in the box of Ethan on that run specifically, but just what you see and look for and want from Robin, Ethan, and Luis in general, because they find themselves in the middle of the park and in the box an awful lot together. I
think first and foremost, you're looking at numbers in the box. We always, tell the guys, and we work on it, over and over in training, is that if, our fullback's crossing the ball, if even our winger is crossing, we've got to have 3 guys in the box. You've got to ask the defenders questions at that point, get in certain spots where they're getting drawn out of spaces. And they don't defend it terribly. They've had a bit of a crossover, but they've got numbers back. But our guys did a great job. Robin, I think, is on the back post. Luis is pulled up a bit higher, and Ethan does a little bit of great movement to find himself some space. But first and foremost, you got to get 3 guys in the box, especially against these guys that are very well organized defensively. And they defend the box really, really well. But yeah, our guys the movement was spectacular, and the ball wasn't the cleanest, but Ethan did a great job just to sneak it in.
And last but not least, it seems like Jonathan Lewis seems to be a bit of a super sub for Colorado this season. I think he has 3 goals, and when he scored this one, he had only played 39 minutes and had 2 goals. This was about 41 minutes and 3 goals on the whole season for him. Looking at this shape defensively and what you guys are doing in the box, as ball gets played in, Jose Aja tracks the line, gets a nice little header out. You have Ethan Finley, who's sort of monitoring the top of the 18 and responsible for the balls that trickle out. And he wasn't much off Jonathan Lewis. Is this one of those where you just go, man, that was a pretty ridiculous finish? Or was there something you guys weren't happy with on this play that you wanted it set up differently?
Yeah, so I'll take full responsibility for this goal. When we were working on set pieces, we generally have 2 on top of the box there. If you look the whole night, Hassani's man marking Kai, because Kai's so dangerous on the ball. Everyone else is in zone. I don't want to give too much away of our set pieces, but the first half, they swung the ball in, and Rubio nearly scored. Tyler made a great save off of a set piece. So we took one of our guys on top and dropped him in that hole, because that hole was a little bit too big where Hassani normally would have been. So we had to adjust on the fly there. We normally would have 2 on for the second ball there. And you see Ethan come across late there. He came across all the way from, near post / central to where he should have been. If you have 2 there, maybe Ethan either blocks it or even clears the second ball that fell to Jonathan. But it is a tidy finish, and I don't think, I think Tyler did a great job just to get his hand on it. If you look at the replay, he's screened as well, I believe, from Roman there. But it's one of those stick or twist ones. If you fill one hole, you're taking away from another position. And numbers wise, I made a decision to drop one in the hole, and that's the way it happened on the day. And it was a good finish. It was clearly disappointing because we pride ourselves on set piece defending. I think it's our first set piece goal we've given up other than a penalty, but of the year. And so we'll get back to the drawing board and make sure that we're better the next time.
Ian, both Ethan Finlay and Ozzy Alonso in this week's iteration of the MLS Team of the Week. We'll talk about Ozzy in a second. First of all, Ethan Finlay with 2 goals. How good was he on that evening, particularly in between the left back and the centre half?
Tireless worker, we know that. His positioning was really important in this game. As Jan would drop in, he would come inside and try to get the young Vines kid to tuck in, and then we could spring Roman. But Ethan wasn't really pleased with his midweek performance at all. He'll be the first to tell you. So we knew he was going to be hungry. And for him to get 2 goals, it'll be great for his confidence, to go with the few assists he had in Portland. He's had a great start to the year. And we're excited that he's going to be facing his old team come in a few days. So his confidence is riding high, and he deserves to be Team of the Week. Clearly when he works as hard as he does, it just rubs off on the entire team. And that's what we love about this team right now, is that everyone drives each other, and we don't have a weak link in terms of giving it their all and work rate and the heart that this team shows. We don't have a weak link there, and Ethan epitomizes that.
We'll talk about Columbus Crew shortly. As we mentioned earlier on, though, Ozzy Alonso, another player in that MLS Team of the Week, such a vital part of the way that you and the staff want to play.
Yeah, Oz is our engine. He runs the show for us. In and out of possession, he puts out fires, and he generally starts our attack. And if you look at our second goal, I think he's the one that ran the 40 yards with it, and played it into Jan out wide, and we got our overload out wide. But Ozzy, it's why he's the best number 6 arguably in the league ever. Was it 25 years the league's been going, and I still think he's the best that's played in the league in that position. And I still think he's got quite a few years left in him. So he's our guy. He's the one that he's the engine room for our team for sure.
I talk about Ozzy a lot, and I did before this last match. I just love the first of all what he does and his calmness on the ball, and I think people had always talked about his tackling and his hard fouls and his ability to lay into people, but I never fully appreciated his ability to keep the ball and his technical ability until he got with Minnesota United, and I focused on that more. How important, I say he's worth his weight in gold when you can be a center back or an outside back or a goalkeeper under pressure in your own defensive third and play Ozzy the ball on your edge of your own 18 with guys on his shoulder and feel good about knowing that he's going to keep possession and be able to get out of that. How important are those kind of moments when you're backlining your goalkeeper under pressure to know that you can give it to him, you can find him, and he'll keep it?
Certainly important in the grand scheme of things. I think even more so down here when it's so hot and humid and you're under pressure. I think it's one of the things we lacked in the first game down here against Sporting is that when you give it to him, he just takes the mood and says, all right, we're good. It's just like that blanket that you need and makes everyone feel comfortable, and you can give him the ball under any circumstance and he doesn't lose it. And like I said, the first goal, that doesn't happen often. That always ends up losing it in midfield, and we'll continue to play through him as we always do. But he just gives you that warm blanket feeling like, all right, everything's going to be fine. And then on the flip side, to have that killer instinct and that heart and that drive, he's a special player for us.
Fuller, into the knockout stages for Minnesota United. How do you assess the tournament so far from a Loons perspective?
I think getting better and better. And, Cal, we almost view this as that was our third preseason game. We weren't able to play 11-11. We didn't have the numbers to play 11-11. The first time we played against Sporting was the first time we played versus 11 guys in shape, under pressure. And for it to be a real game in these circumstances, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. Sporting didn't have a second team. They were able to play. They were on the first ones to be able to play, against each other through the rules and regulations of the league. We had to wait an extra 2 weeks before we got everything passed within Minnesota. So, we were a little bit behind, but we still feel like we've got a lot more to show in this league, in this competition. Clearly, we're going to have to bring it into Columbus, but I can't tell you how excited we are to play against a really, really good team. I don't think one of our guys will be scared or nervous about playing a team in form like Columbus are. But we just don't feel like we've given our best performance yet. We're growing physically. We're growing, shape-wise and tactically, and the guys have their legs under them. So we're more than excited and can't wait for, Tuesday? The days just keep running into each other here, but we're really excited.
What of Columbus Crew then, Fuller? Why are they ticking as well as they are at the moment?
I would love to say it's just Darlington Nagbe, but he just brings such a quality to their side. He's similar to what we feel Ozzy is in the prime of his age, who just, I think he's completed something like 99% of his passes in the tournament. And he just brings that calmness to the game. He gets you out of positions where, all right, we feel like we've got him in good shape and we're really pressing, and then he'll peel out through two defenders and then just put you on the back foot. He's probably one of 4 or 5 guys that we want to focus in on, but they're a good team, and they move the ball well, and they combine well, and they get forward in numbers, and they defend really, really well. Caleb has him really going right now. But I would say if there's one player, it's Darlington, that he's a fantastic player, fun to watch, and he may have picked up an injury. We'll keep an eye on that. But if he's playing, and we wish him well, certainly. But he's a difficult player to play against.
And just finally, Fuller, for those that might not know, of course, you and several others on the Minnesota United staff and on the roster have a huge tie to Orlando City. The games that have been played at the stadium right now, the stadium that you're in, it was the Orlando City home stadium in 2014, I believe. And no doubt this is a strange situation for just about everybody in the bubble, but it must be even more so bizarre for someone like yourself who used to call this place home. Yeah, and there's certainly a comfort level here, in and around Wild World of Sports. I mean, we spent many days, many hours around the complex, but it is different. They've got the whole screens up, and the stands aren't there, and that would be there, and so that comfort level certainly changed. It's just a bizarre situation that we're dealing with down here. The guys have adapted really, really well, but as comfortable as I am down in and around the stadium and Wild World of Sports, it just feels different completely. But it is nice to be back down here where we called home for 5 years. Ian Fuller, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Kyndra St. Aubin, thank you as always. So all eyes focus then on Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Minnesota United underway in the knockout stages of this tournament against Columbus Crew. You can join us on Score North for the radio commentary, or you can watch it on the television on ESPN. And as always, for the latest on Minnesota United down in Orlando, keep it right here on MNUFC.com. Tonight's show is brought to you by Allianz. Allina Health, official orthopedic partner of Minnesota United. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Minnesota, better together, you and blue. And M Health Fairview, please protect yourself and others by wearing a mask when in public spaces. We all have to do our part. Wear yours, Minnesota.
Van der Sar, a goal from your man, from the man. Catch them if you can. O'Tara forward now for Marino, who's in.
Minnesota United take on Columbus Crew Tuesday, July 28th at 7 p.m. in the MLS is Back tournament knockout